What's up, everybody? You hear the basketball court in the background? No? Well, you're going to, because we have the one and only Sabrina Revelle from Disney Plus's The Crossover on the show today to talk all about the amazing series and some more stuff, which is more important, which is social division and society expectations and how some studios market their shows.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
And she may divulge a little information about how one time she wasn't so truthful.
Yeah.
What?
I know.
You got to find out what we're talking about, right?
Exactly. We all lie on our resumes sometimes, right? We all lie on our resumes. It's going to be such a great conversation. We're ready for everybody to listen to it, but that's later on the show. Now, let's get a little crazy. What's up, everybody? Episode 226,
Woo!
back in action. Oh my goodness, we're super excited. You guys know your host with the most, myself, JLo Fantastic, and the one and only Mal.
What's up?
Man, I'm so excited for this episode. There's so much going down in Hollywood, especially some stuff happening that is justice well served. We should say that. But before we tease the rest of this show, be sure to leave a rating on the podcast. Comment below as well. Tell us what you actually think about our podcast. Leaving a rating and commenting actually helps the podcast get seen by more people who enjoy entertainment news and those who are trying to break into the entertainment industry.
Yes.
We're trying to be like IMDbPro, a one-stop shop Bible for entertainers trying to break in.
Yes.
But man, there's so much going down. Did you guys see that The Rock is coming back to the Fast and Furious franchise? Wait, I thought him and Vin Diesel don't like each other. Well, we're going to get into it. There's so much happening in Hollywood with all the different studios.
Not the only big return either.
No.
Did you get Sex in the City? Kim Cattrall.
Yeah.
What? Is the feud over with Sarah Jessica Parker? Like, what's going on there? I was shocked with that one. So, like, what's going on?
Yeah, a lot happening, man. Oh, my goodness. But before we get this thing started, be sure to head over to our website, www.crazyantmedia.com, where you can start rocking the latest and greatest Crazy Ant Media gear. We got shirts, we got hats, we got mugs. We have basically anything and everything you need to know right now. Right now is actually 20% off on all of our merchandise. So be sure to head over to our website, www.crazyantmedia.com, where you can start taking advantage of those sales. And be sure to follow us at Crazy Ant Media and at ITCAF Podcast so you can know when those sales are happening. We have quite a few this month. I believe 4 different merchandise sales. That's basically one every single week. So that's why you got to follow us to know when those are going down.
Heck yeah.
But man, oh man, this one, finally, okay? Because a lot of different people are like, you know, when this type of stuff happens, they feel like people specifically who are in the entertainment industry and are put up on the pedestal don't necessarily always reap the repercussions or whatever the fuck I'm trying to say.
No, that's right. They get away with a lot.
They get away with a lot, okay? And I mean, this one, not this time, okay? Not even if you belong to Scientology. Danny Masterson, the former star of That 70s Show, was convicted Wednesday on 2 counts of forcible rape. The jury could not reach a verdict, though, on the 3rd charge. Now, it was deadlocking with a vote 8-4. So basically, those 4 other people were trying to get convinced, but they couldn't necessarily get there. But the majority was convinced that he did do this. In a favorable conviction, Masterson faces a potential sentence of 30 years to life in prison just on those 2 charges. Shortly after the clerk read the guilty verdicts, there was an audible gasp from Masterson's family, who were seated in the audience. Masterson's accused of raping 3 women at his Hollywood Hills home between 2001 and 2003. Now, the jury convicted him of raping 2 women in 2003, but could not reach the verdict on that 3rd one from the November 2001 case, which this one involved formerly significant other of his. So that was interesting. After the verdict was read, Masterson was handcuffed and taken immediately into custody. Now, Judge Ameldo denied the defense's request that he would remain free until his sentencing. A hearing was set for August 4th. Now, Masterson's wife, Bijou Phillips, was seen sobbing in the front row of the audience. One of the victims, known in the court as Jane Doe 2, issued a statement expressing relief that Masterson was convicted. She also referred to a pending civil case in which she and the other accusers have sued Masterson and the Church of Scientology for harassment and stalking. Now, I'm super happy that this happened because I feel like, a lot of these accused, specifically in the Me Too movement, they do kind of get swept underneath the rug. There's a handful of people that we're like, wait, didn't they have something said about them? But then it kind of just got hush hush pushed away. So this is a big win in that community. So we're happy to see it.
Yeah, and I mean, look, the first trial ended in a mistrial because they were deadlocked and could not come to an agreement. But all of those jurors, if I'm not mistaken, even after that first trial, basically came out and said, yeah, we think he's guilty. We just couldn't get there
Right.
on what they were asking us to convict him on. Right. So, we basically knew coming into this second trial, the vast majority thinks he's guilty, and they were able to prove it this time and basically get there where they needed to get there to find him guilty. Yeah, like you said, the one that they couldn't find, that couldn't get an agreement, even though it was 8-4 in favor of, it's a girlfriend, like a former girlfriend. It's like, it's very disturbing that you can get into a position that you think just because you're in a relationship, you can force yourself on a woman.
Right.
You can't. No is no, whether you're in a relationship or not, girlfriend, wife, whatever the fuck. No is no. And like, I hate the sense of entitlement and privilege that some people think they have because they've reached a status of celebrity or a status of money. And it's nice to see that you can't get away with it.
Yeah.
And the creepy shit at the end, right? I mean, we've heard all the rumors, Leah Remini is out there just exposing everything,
Yeah.
right? Like, but the fact that the church was literally trying scare tactics to get these women to back off and drop the charges or say that they were lying, is insane to me. Like, and that's not the first time we've heard things like that about the church. So, maybe this is finally the first step in the right direction of getting exposed for the church as well.
Yeah.
Right. Like, cause that's some shady shit also. Like, and if we're not on the air next week.
Yeah, right. You'll know why. But really, the interesting thing is this going to be like the Cosby Show, where a lot of the residuals are being taken away and where the shows come down? Will that 70s show come down? Because you remember about a year ago, Netflix was touting this is their big show. They got the spinoff with that 90s show now. So are they going to keep the 70s show up? So that's going to be very interesting to see if the residuals will stay in place or they'll be taken away, kind of like how it was, like I said, with comparison of the Cosby Show. I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, I believe that's what happened in that situation. But yeah, it's going to be very interesting. So we're going to have to keep an eye on it. See what happens with this whole debacle.
Well, and that the appeals are coming.
Oh,
he's not just going to go quiet. They're going to file appeals. They're going to keep this shit in court for God knows how many more years and put these women through even more turmoil. But the good news is he'll be behind bars the whole fucking time they're doing it.
Facts.
So, because clearly the judges are not going to let him out, and rightfully so, because that motherfucker probably flee.
Yeah.
The church would probably get him the fuck out of the country. So good for the judge for making that decision.
Exactly.
All right. Speaking of some more shady shit, this is like seriously shady shit. Let's jump over to Disney. The Obama-appointed judge who was overseeing Disney's lawsuit against Florida Governor Ron DeSantis recused himself on Thursday over a relative's ownership of, get this, guys, 30 shares of Disney stock. 30 shares? 30 shares ain't shit. You need to recuse yourself. You're worried about 30 shares? The case was transferred to Judge Alan C. Windsor, an appointee of, are you ready? President Trump, who previously upheld the state's parental rights in education law. That law, better known to all of you and all of us as the critics call it, the Don't Say Gay law, is at the center of the Disney DeSantis controversy. Now, Disney sued DeSantis in April, alleging the state had engaged in a campaign of retaliation against the company over its opposition to the bill. The state rescinded Disney's special governing district in Orlando and then reconstituted it under the control of 5 DeSantis appointees. Now, Disney has argued that the state has sought to punish the company for protected speech and is seeking to overturn the state's actions. The lawsuit was initially assigned to Judge Mark E. Walker, as I said, whom President Obama appointed to the bench back in 2012. DeSantis' lawyers sought to have Walker removed on the grounds that his previous comments in other cases show he might be biased against the governor. In one case, the judge noted that Disney might lose its special status because arguably it ran afoul of state policy. Now, you don't think that the Trump appointed judge, a hardcore Republican judge,
Yeah.
and clearly on DeSantis's side, is now also not going to rule in DeSantis's favor?
Yeah.
Come on, man. That's some shady shit. Like, why would you demand that this guy recuse himself? And why did he? What do they have on him that he agreed to recuse himself over some bullshit excuse like a relative having 30 shares? I own more than 30 fucking shares.
Yeah.
Like, well, I don't even, like, if I was Disney, I would flip the script. I'd say, well, now we're demanding that this judge recuse themselves because he's made favorable comments towards DeSantis.
Exactly.
Like, you're never going to get an unbiased judge.
Yeah.
I mean, you just
with such a high volume publicity case as this is, public case as this is, I feel like, you need to do some research into who you're going to be having at the helm of this case. So I feel like, it is very shady, like you said. So, I mean, right now it's very much a teeter-totter situation. I don't know, man.
I don't know. And is DeSantis not paying attention because the fight against Disney is not playing well on the national stage?
It's not.
He's dropping in the polls, even more so since he announced the run for presidency. You don't fuck with the mouse. People love Mickey. This shit is hurting him, and yet he continues to push the issue.
Yeah.
Just like fucking drop it. Disney is huge for Florida, and Florida is the only thing that you're running on. That's your record. You want to fuck that up? Like, I'm just saying, like, I hope you do, because I don't want you in office. But I'm just saying, I mean, like, be smart about it at least. I mean, Florida is your only record that you have to run on, and you are fucking with Florida.
Yeah.
Like, I
It's
just
not doing well. Not doing well. Well, sticking with Disney, they did reach its 7,000 layoffs goal, handing out notices to the remaining employees impacted in its third round of job cuts. Now, the Mouse House target that was concluded with these company-wide layoffs, which focus mostly on the media divisions, and left the parks largely untouched ahead of the summer, which they will need those people. So that makes sense. The company still has plans to eliminate more roles internationally over a period of time, but Disney has now concluded the benchmark it set back in February, soon as Iger returned to CEO upon the ousting of the one and only Bob Chapek. Iger announced a sweeping cost-cutting strategy with the first round of staff reductions begun back in March, which was March 27th. The second wave, which brought Disney's total to 4,000 cuts, hit the week of April 24th, and the third and final concluded on May 26th. Now, the 7,000 people layoffs, which represented 3.2% of Disney's total headcount, are a part of Disney's effort to achieve about a $5.5 billion in cost savings. So it is a very crazy situation. This is what comes with the job of being in such a big business that is in different avenues of entertainment. I mean, they're doing a better job at it than what Warner Brothers Discovery is doing with Zaslav. So, I mean, it just is what it is right now.
Yeah, and look, it sucks for those 7,000 people. I mean, I feel bad for anybody that loses their job, but the people up in the media divisions were probably making some pretty decent salaries, probably got a decent payout to go, and they'll be all right. It's not like they're the people working at the park for minimum wage or a little more than minimum wage that would be, in huge trouble losing the jobs or whatever. So it is what it is. And when you really think about it, like you said, it's 3.2%. It's less than 5% of their entire workforce. So 7,000 sounds like a lot of people.
But when you look at that percentage, that's pretty crazy.
It's like barely a pinch at their total overall workforce. And you got to do what you got to do. I mean, you know,
man, you got to make a lot of money. And that's what they're trying to do with everything they got going on.
It's facts. I mean, you got to pay. You got to pay.
And I mean, speaking of making a lot of money.
Oh, hell yeah. Family audiences turned out in force, propelling Disney's The Little Mermaid to the top of the box office over the Memorial Day weekend. The film, a live-action remake, of course, of the 1988 animated favorite, earned a splashy $117.5 million over the four-day holiday. It ranks as the fifth largest Memorial debut. Now, for Disney, the film's popularity is a testament to its strategy of digging deep into the vaults and rebooting animated titles as live action movies, something that it has done successfully with the likes of Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast, The Lion King, and waiting on the horizon, Amir Questlove himself, Thompson, the Oscar-winning director of Summer of Soul, is apparently getting ready to helm a remake of the Aristocats for Disney. So, I mean, if it ain't broken, don't fix it. It's working and it's making money, so go for it.
It is working. I'm surprised they chose that one though. That one's so very interesting to me because that one came out in like the 50s, the 40s, something like that. So I mean, that's deep in the vault.
Like a lot lesser known than these huge ones.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
We'll see how that one goes.
For sure. Well, Disney also took third place at the box office with Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Bringing in $26.1 million over the 4-day holiday weekend. Now, that brings the gross for the superhero sequel intended to serve as a farewell to the Galactic team to $305.6 million. So that's really exciting. They are doing really well. And I personally think that this is one of the best Marvel movies that has come out in the past 2 years, I would say.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm really happy to see that. I mean, and overall, the people love it.
Oh, without doubt. Yeah. And I mean, if it's 300 and something million domestically, it means it's crossed over $500 million internationally for sure. So it's well on its way to being profitable. And in my opinion, getting the path back on for Disney. I think they struggled a tad there with the Marvel stuff, but I think it's on the right track.
Sure, hope so.
Speaking of some Marvel stuff that may not come out when we wanted it to, though, Marvel's upcoming Thunderbolts film paused production due to the ongoing writer's strike. The movie was scheduled to begin shooting in Atlanta next month and plans to resume production after the strike is resolved. Now, part of Marvel's Phase 5, of course, Thunderbolts is set to bring together the worlds of Ant-Man and the Wasp, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Black Widow, and the upcoming Captain America installment, New World Order. Now, Paper Towns director Jake Shearer is helming the film, with Beef creator Lee Sung-jin penning the script from a first draft by Black Widow writer Eric Pearson. Marvel is known for frequently rewriting its films during the production process, making it especially difficult to proceed during a writer's strike. Now, Marvel's Blade, which follows Thunderbolts in Phase 5, also recently delayed production as members of the Writers Guild of America strike after not reaching an agreement with the Alliance, of course, motion picture and television producers. So it seems like every week we're talking about they're shutting down another production due to this strike. And so far, we're not seeing any delays, but we're going to start seeing delays coming. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, and it's very interesting, too, because obviously, as we can tell, Marvel and Disney really love their people, so they keep bringing them back, which leads us into our next one. Thomas Kail, the Tony Award-winning director of Broadway's Hamilton, has been cast to direct Disney's live-action take on the studio's 2016 animated musical sensation, Moana. Now, Disney announced the remake earlier this spring and has secured Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson to return of the role of Maui. Now, the grand ois and demigod of wind and sea. Johnson is producing via his Seven Bucks production, also along with his business partner, Danny Garcia and Hiram Garcia. Now, Bo Finn is also producing via Finn Picture Company. Jared Bush, who wrote the screenplay for the original movie, penned the remake as well, along with Dana Ludo Miller, per the studio's new take, and meant to, like its animated predecessor, celebrate the islands, communities, and traditions of the Pacific Islanders as seen through the eyes of a young eager to pave her own way. Now, Ali, whatever her name is, who voiced the Moana in the original, will executive produce this one. So that's exciting, with Scott Sheldon via Finn Pictures Company. So that's very exciting. What, Lindo? Is that what you were making fun of? What are you laughing at me for?
With our move down to the south and close to New Orleans for the company, you're going to have to learn how to pronounce those names. Lido. No, you won't last long down there if you fuck up them names.
It's the X's, man. I don't understand the fucking X's. That sounds like some Harry Potter shit. Lindo. I'm just saying.
He'll get it. Don't worry. He'll get it. They'll make him get it.
We'll get there.
That's right. Dun, 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 dun. I'm excited about this one. Disney Plus is now streaming the first 4 Indiana Jones movies, starring, of course, Harrison Ford as the legendary snake-hating archaeologist action hero. The media company is looking to whip up interest in the theatrical release of the franchise's 5th and final installment, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Now, Disney Plus subscribers can now stream Raiders of the Lost Ark, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, and Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, as well as the TV series The Adventures of Young Indiana Jones. Now, the upcoming Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, which premiered at Cannes Film Festival last month, opens exclusively in theaters later this month, June 30th. Disney hasn't announced a premiere date yet, though, for the film on Disney Plus. So.
Interesting.
I love it.
Yeah, I know you do. Justified City Primeville, whatever the fuck. Primeval, that one right there.
Yeah.
As we know in the last story, I can't fucking pronounce anything. Returns to FX this July.
Yes.
13 years after the original hit series Justified ended its run. So there's a one-off with who would be star Timothy Olyphant. Be up for more? Well, during the ATX TV Festival's opening night in Austin, Texas, he told the audience, quote, "I'd show up. I'd have a good time. Every time we've done this, I've had a good time." So I feel like that's pretty locked in.
That's a yes. I think.
Yeah. Justified made its world premiere during that event. Now, cast members include Olyphant, Boyd Holbrook, Aldrine Clemens, Vivian Olyphant, who were joined by executive producer Sarah Timberland. Now, Justified aired for 6 seasons from FX from 2010 to 2015. The 8-part limited series takes place 15 years later. Givens has left Kentucky and now living in Miami, working as a U.S. Marshal and taking care of his 15-year-old daughter. So that sounds very interesting.
Oh, dude, that show, you should find it and watch it because it's fucking unreal. Caitlin Dever, Margot Martindale, like so many people were on that show that, like, I mean, it's called Justified because he was a U.S. Marshal that had a tendency to shoot and kill people. And it was questioned as if it was always a justified kill because he was a little trigger happy.
Yeah.
But it's a brilliant fucking show. And if you go back and watch, I'm so excited for the sequel. I think it's going to be amazing. And I hope he does come back for another one. All right, let's jump over to Zaslav's House of Pain, otherwise known as Warner Brothers Discovery.
Yeah.
Ezra Miller will continue being the Flash as long as director Andy Muschietti is involved in the Warner Brothers superhero franchise. Muschietti said he has no plans to recast Miller despite the actor's history of legal troubles and alleged abuse. When asked to further elaborate, he said, quote, "I don't think there's anyone that can play the character as well as they did. The other depictions of the character are great, but this particular vision of the character, they just excelled in doing it. And as you said, the two Barrys, it feels like a character that was made for them." Now, given that Muschietti's The Flash was developed and filmed under the previous leadership at DC Studios, it's unclear whether or not the Miller starring tentpole will even get a sequel or not. James Gunn and Peter Safran are now in charge of DC Studios, obviously, but their first slate announcement did not include any word on a second go-around for Miller's Flash. Gunn has already hyped the film, though, by calling it one of the greatest superhero movies ever made, while Safran has said that Miller's future as the Flash depends on their continued recovery.
See, I like that. I like Safran saying that. And I mean, I feel like James is just seeing how the audience is going to react to it, basically. But I mean, like, I don't know, man. It's going to be very interesting. And I mean, it's ballsy of him specifically to be like, no, if they're not doing it, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know, it's going to be very interesting. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Well, now in the case that you may have forgot with what the legal troubles were, Miller was cited in Vermont with felony burglary last year. In 2020, the actor made headlines after a recording surfaced in which they appeared to be choking a woman outside of a bar in Iceland. No charges were filed then. The actor was arrested twice in Hawaii in 2022, once for disorderly conduct and harassment, And in the Hawaii incidents, Miller pled no contest to a single count of a misdemeanor disorderly conduct and paid a $500 fine and $30 in court costs. The harassment charge was dismissed. The Flash opens in theaters nationwide June 16th. Like I said, piece of shit, really. I need to see recovery. I need to see this man out there being very apologetic and doing like community service, like fucking all this different shit. But right now it's not good.
And we haven't seen them do any kind. They only came out with a statement saying that they were entering like rehab to deal with their mental problems after it came out that the studio was thinking about shelving the film.
That's it.
Now, the studio is now denying that there was ever going to shelve the film. They said that's just not true. I call bullshit on that. I think it was absolutely true to force them to come out with a statement, but they haven't made a statement since then, and I haven't seen them do shit.
Nope.
And I'm just going to say it. Gunn says it's one of the greatest superhero movies ever made, and apparently anybody that's seen it agrees with that. I've got 2 words for why that's true. Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
Facts. The entire marketing campaign is based around Michael Keaton's Batman. It's as clear as day that that's what makes this film epic. I'm just saying, get rid of him. Get rid of him. If you're going to do it, and bring somebody else on as Flash and move on. That's my advice.
Agreed.
Oh my gosh. Speaking of epic, awesome, maybe some of the best television to ever exist in the existence of ever, 2.9 million people tuned into Succession on Sunday night when HBO and Max debuted the series finale after 4 seasons. Now, this marks the show's largest audience ever, a 5% improvement from its previous record of 2.75 million viewers set by episode 6 of season 4, which aired on April 30th. Now, episode 10's new series high is an unsurprising cap on what has been the most watched season of Succession, which is now averaging 8.7 million viewers per episode when accounting for delayed viewing. Season 3 averaged 7.2 million viewers. Season 4 opened with a then series high of 2.3 million viewers, up 33% from the season 3 finale of 1.7 million. Episode 2 was watched by 2 million, followed by 2.5 million with episode 3, 2.6 million with episode 4, and 2.6 million again with episode 5. Now, after hitting 2.75 million with episode 6, viewership remained mostly steady through episode 9 until it hit this cap at 10. And I've got to tell you, one of the single greatest finales I've ever seen. I think that there were hints about what was going to happen, but you still were shocked by what happened. And I just, the performances were just insane. Culkin again stole it for me, but Jeremy Strong and just like everybody in it just killed. And I'm not saying anything because I don't want to spoil it if you haven't seen it, which if you don't already know what happened, what the fuck, you're living under a rock. But it was amazing. And it's truly, I think, one of the best shows ever on television. It lives up there in the echelons of like The Sopranos and like all of those that like deserve to be recognized as some of the greatest television ever. And if you haven't watched it, it's like 10 episodes per season. It's 40 fucking episodes. Just go watch the whole series. You'll be glad you did. Trust me.
For sure. And I mean, Succession wasn't the only HBO series to end its run on Sunday night. Barry drew in about 700,000 viewers with its series finale. This is a very cult classic niche type of show, which immediately debuted following the Succession finale. When accounting for delayed viewing, Warner Bros. Discovery reports that Barry is averaging about 3.4 million viewers across episodes of season 4, and that viewership of the final episode the day after its debut was 20% more than usual. Like I said, I mean, it was an Emmy winner, so it did very well when it came to audiences. So that's very exciting. I just feel like, HBO, they know how to make some shit.
Oh yeah,
like, they're so good.
Yeah, without doubt. Thank you, Ted Turner.
Yeah,
that's all
exactly.
I'm saying. Thank you. And from what I understand, this one had a shocker of an ending too with Henry Winkler's character. I think it was like a oh shit moment. So I'm gonna have to go and check that one out. Stephen Dorff, Shea Wiggum, Lucas Haas, Robert Oberst, Steven Schneider, your girl, Liza Schlesinger, Sturgill Simpson, Casey Wilson have each signed on apparently to join HBO's The Righteous Gemstones for season 3. Now, the announcement serves as the first official confirmation of Dorff and Wingham's casting, despite the fact that they both appeared in the season 3 teaser.
Yeah, exactly.
So the season 3 of the comedy will apparently continue the story of the world famous televangelist family with a long tradition of defiance, greed, and charitable work.
Love it.
Now, per the official logline, when the spoiled gemstone children finally get their wish to take control of the church, they discover leadership is harder than they imagined and that their extravagant lifestyle comes with a heavy price. So that'll be funny. I mean, that's going to be good.
It looks hilarious. And to all those who don't know, and I actually just thought about this the other day, it's Succession meets comedy and religion, because you have all these children trying to take over the empire. And this season, it looks like, the church versus like a cult, basically.
Yeah.
And it looks fucking hilarious. It's really good. Be sure to check it out. Kim Cattrall will appear in season 2 of And Just Like That, reprising her role as Samantha Jones. There are no details about her storyline, but we have learned she will make a brief cameo appearance in the season 2 finale. Initiated by HBO/Max executives, her scene took place in a car and was filmed towards the end of season 2 in March. Now, Cattrall had no interaction with And Just Like That cast or showrunner Michael Patrick King. The cameo was conceived as a one-off, but the door has been left open for more if the series gets a third season. Now, in addition to playing Samantha in Sex and the City, Cattrall also played the character in the 2 Sex and the City sequel movies. The last time the fans saw Samantha Jones was in Sex and the City 2. The feature film that saw the ladies go to Abu Dhabi when And Just Like That was announced, its lineup did not include her, she had a public falling out with franchise star and executive producer Sarah Jessica Parker. Now, the absence of Samantha from the group was explained as she had a falling out with Carrie and eventually moved to London. So kind of true. Throughout season 1 of the Max continuation, Samantha was spoken about, and she even interacted with Carrie following the death of her husband, Mr. Big. The two were even texting and making plans to reunite in Paris when the latter went to send off Big's ashes into the Seine. Now, season 2 of And Just Like That premieres June 22nd on Max.
I feel like if you're going to go through all the trouble of putting her in one scene at the very end of the season 2 finale, bring her back to season 3. And hey, life's too short, Sarah and Kim. Sarah and Kim. Life's too short. Mend that shit. Move on. Okay. Come on. Facts. It can't be anything that important. No. Come on. Jumping over to Paramount. Paramount Pictures has dropped another video in the lead up to Transformers Rise of the Beasts. The highly anticipated film stars, of course, Anthony Ramos and Pete Davidson, and is scheduled to hit theaters June 9th, right around the corner, guys. The video highlights Peter Cullen's legacy as the longtime voice actor of Optimus Prime. It features a commentary from Cullen as he recalls his monumental first audition as the Autobots' leader. Now, the legendary performer began his run as Optimus Prime during the very first Transformers series, way back in the day when I was still a fucking kid.
Yeah.
Cullen's been killed. It's a really interesting story about his war hero brother that kind of gave him the advice of how to do the voice, how he should approach it. It's a really cool story. And kudos to them because the man is fucking Optimus Prime is not Optimus without fucking Peter Cullen.
Yeah.
So to give him a little tribute video, mad props. That was the right thing to do.
I think that movie is going to be an underdog. I'm not going to lie. I feel like a lot of people, it looks really freaking good. And I feel like a lot of people are going to go see it. Just not right now. Not a lot of people are talking about it. But I think it will take the #1 spot at the box office. So
I think so too.
I'm excited. Paramount has released the first official trailer for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem, Seth Rogen's new take on the franchise. The reboot is the second fully animated big screen outing for the Turtle Brothers and boosts the new animated style that many are comparing to the recent Spider-Man animations. The synopsis: after years of being sheltered from the human world, the Turtle Brothers are set out to win the hearts of the New Yorkers to be accepted as normal teenagers through heroic acts. Their new friend, April O'Neil, helps them take on a mysterious crime syndicate, but they soon get in over their heads when the army of mutants is released upon them. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem arrives in theaters on August 4th. I love that Seth Rogen has just taken on all these different types of things. He's like becoming one of those moguls. He's becoming like a kind of like a JJ Abrams, but in this different type of lane. So that's really cool.
Yeah. And I mean, I've always been a fan of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but they've had some hit and misses.
They have.
Some of them have been really good, and some of them have just been plain out stinkers and really fucking bad.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping this one is really good.
Yeah.
Because I do like the characters. I like the story. So we'll see. Let's jump over to NBC Universal, and I'm so fucking excited about this one. Universal Pictures has confirmed that Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer officially rated R.
No shit.
Oppenheimer will be Nolan's first R-rated feature since 2002's Insomnia. Now, the director himself confirmed recently that Oppenheimer is the longest movie of his career, running just shy of the 3-hour mark. What does that mean for prints of the film? Well, according to the Associated Press reports, Oppenheimer is so long that IMAX prints are, get this is fucking crazy, 11 miles of film stock that weighs some 600 pounds. Now, as is par for the course, Nolan shot the movie using large format film camera because he shoots on film, not digital, guys. Universal Pictures has now made tickets available for the film in premium theaters such as IMAX 70mm, 70mm, IMAX Digital, 35mm, Dolby Cinema, and more. Oppenheimer opens in theaters July 21st, and it cannot get here quick enough. And just in case you didn't know, our friend, our buddy, one of the legendary casting directors himself, basically put every fucking A-lister in Hollywood in this film.
It's true.
Every A-lister. If you've seen them in anything ever, they're in this movie.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be amazing.
I love it. I will say, I want to go out and say I'm kind of a hypocrite because I am okay with this being 3 hours long, but I'm always giving Scorsese shit when he fucking puts out a 3-hour plus long movie. I think it's because this man does it consistently. And like we said in this is Nolan's first ever almost 3-hour long movie.
Well, to be fair, I don't think you can tell Oppenheimer's story quickly.
No.
You have to tell the whole thing. You have to lay it out. So it makes sense that it's that long.
Yeah.
I mean, it does. It makes sense to me. Plus, Nolan said, the best way to see this film, and this doesn't make sense to me because it's only in like 26 theaters across the country, but he said the best way to see it is in the giant 70mm IMAX. But you can only see that in 26 places across the country. So you're not going to see it the best way he says to see it.
Yeah.
But good luck if you are.
Good luck. Oh, my goodness. Well, like we teased at the beginning, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is returning to the Fast and Furious universe with a standalone film. He will be reprising his role as Luke Hobbs. Universal Pictures announced the project yesterday. Now, the longtime Fast and Furious collaborator Chris Morgan wrote the untitled film script. Plot details are, of course, not yet available. Those individuals familiar with the deal said that the new movie will bridge between the events of the just released Fast X and the upcoming Fast X Part 2 family, which is expected to hit in 2025. Johnson just appeared as Hobbs in the diplomatic security, served as the diplomatic security agent in the credits, and he's in the scene credits for Fast X, so that's really cool. But yeah, remember he was just in Hobbs and Shaw as well a few years ago, so that's really exciting, and it really makes sense because I mean, this man there for a while. I don't want to say now because he hasn't appeared in a lot of movies, but there for like a good 3 or 4 years, he was the biggest thing, the biggest box office draw at the cinemas. So it's going to be interesting.
Which I think was the beef between him and Vin. And I'm just going to go out and say this. Everybody loves Groot, but apparently I'm not a fan of Vin because I think that's what was behind their fight, is that he was jealous of how big The Rock was. And I say that because I just saw a story earlier that he's blaming Jason Momoa for the bad reviews of the latest movie, Fast X. It's apparently getting bad reviews, and he says it's Jason Momoa's fault because he overacted and tried to do too much. Again, it just sounds like somebody's a little jealous bitch. Like, Jason Momoa is a bigger star, so he's just going to blame Momoa for like the bad reviews. It's like, get over yourself, bro. Like, I mean,
I don't understand. Like, why do you have to just, just be so ugly about things.
I mean, it could be getting bad reviews because it's fucking 10 movies in and it's the same thing over and over.
Literally.
Just saying, you should have ended it after my man Paul died.
Yeah.
Move on.
Yeah, because I mean, after like the fourth one, it wasn't about racing anymore. It was about all this extra shit.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I mean, 4 through 6, the same movie, literally.
Literally.
Or
I
4
mean-
through 10. But yeah, it's crazy. Anyway, Mason Thames and Nico Parker are set to star as Hiccup and Astrid in Universal's live-action adaptation of DreamWorks Animation's How to Train a Dragon. Dean DeBlois is directing the pick, which is set to bow March 14th of 2025. The original How to Train a Dragon back in 2010 introduced the fans to an unlikely friendship of Hiccup and the adolescent Viking and Toothless, a fearless night fury dragon, followed by sequels in 2014 and 2019. It is based off the best-selling book series by Cressida Cowell. The franchise has received 4 Oscar nominations and have grossed a combined of $1.6 billion plus. Now, Thames is coming off the breakout role of Universal's The Black Phone, starring alongside of Ethan Hawke. Now, Thames next will be seen in the starring opposite of Mel Gibson in Boys of Summer. Now, Parker played Sarah Miller in season 1 of HBO's The Last of Us, opposite of Pedro Pascal. She next will be seen starring opposite of Woody Harrelson and Laura Linney in Laura Chin's Suncoast. Her acting debut came as a lead in Disney Plus's Tim Burton's directed live-action adaptation of Dumbo. So a lot of good things happening there for the stars of that movie. So
this is
really
a
good.
beloved movie. I just think they're trying to capitalize. Disney has been able to do it very successfully, as we said at the top of the show, taking these beloved animated movies and making them live action. I'm not sure it's going to work for this one.
No.
I fucking loved How to Train Your Dragon, and like, I don't know if we need a live action version of this.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah.
I just think it's going to be iffy.
Yeah.
So jumping over to Sony, and anytime we talk about Sony, it's about Spider-Man because like it's basically all they fucking got.
Yeah.
Let's be honest about it. How high can Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse climb? The sequel to 2018's Oscar-winning Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is getting a lift from a lot of good buzz and residual fondness from its predecessor, one of the inaugural cinematic forays into all things multiverse.
Yes.
Now, it's already accumulated $16 million off of yesterday's previews at 3,562 theaters. That's the second best preview night ever for an animated movie. After Disney Pixar's Incredibles 2, which brought in $18.5 million from June 8, 2018, Disney Pixar's Toy Story 4 had $12 million on its Thursday previews and is now the third best animated movie in previews at the box office. The preview haul for Across the Spider-Verse is 4.5 times more than what the 2018 animated movie Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse did on its Thursday night, which was $3.5 million before ending up with a $12.6 million Friday and going on to open at $35.3 million over the opening weekend. Now, tracking suggests that Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse should have no trouble swinging in the top spot at the box office this weekend. Initial projections have it Across the Spider-Verse bowing to $80 million. Some people are predicting as high as $90 million. That's a big leap forward, like I said, from the $35.4 million that the first one debuted when it launched in theaters. So, I mean, that would be like more than twice the amount. I mean, that's going to be huge.
I think it will do very well. And while Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse just hit the theaters, the producers behind the trilogy, you're right, I said trilogy, have already got their intention set on a third installment beyond next year. It's going to be Beyond the Spider-Verse.
Ooh.
However, that's not the only web-slinging project that's on their minds. Producer Amy Pascal says Spider-Woman and the live-action Miles Morales movie are in the works. Everybody's been waiting on Miles. I know that for sure. Pascal has also said a fourth Spider-Man movie with Tom Holland and Zendaya is still in the works, but the writer's strike has paused everything in development. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse sees a return of Shamik Moore as Miles Morales and Haley Steinfeld as Gwen Stacy. The cast also include Issa Rae, Daniel Kaluuya, Jason Schwartzman, Brian Tyree Henry, Luna Lauren Velez, Rachel Dratch, Shia Whigham, Leland Metro Boomin Wayne, Ziggy Marley, Ayo Abridi, and Danielle Perez. So all the good places, and I feel bad because I love the bear and I mispronounced her name.
Oh, it's okay.
It's fine.
I saw that Haley Steinfeld said she would be totally down for playing the live action version of Gwen Stacy too.
I could see it.
Yeah, that would be interesting considering she's like Hawkeye,
Yeah,
in the MCU.
Yeah.
And if you do the live action Miles Morales, is it in the MCU or is it in the Sony Spider-Verse?
exactly.
Or is it a mix of both? Then that would make it hard. She'd
It
be
is.
playing two different characters.
It's the multiverse.
But multiverse,
Right.
she so totally could do it. Let's jump over to Lionsgate. I know you're excited about this one. Lionsgate Motion Picture Group Chair Joe Drake recently teased development of, are you ready for it? A fifth movie in the studio's John Wick franchise during a Q4 earnings call that has fans all abuzz. Now, the March 24th release of the Chad Stankey directed John Wick Chapter 4 was another huge hit for the Assassin franchise starring Keanu Reeves, topping $363 million globally. Its success instantly raised questions about the potential for a fifth film that the reps from the studio and the director himself agreed was on the table, and now apparently is confirmed that they are developing it. But you've got Ballerina first, the female John Wick kind of a thing, right? Like,
yeah, I'm
that's
really
gonna be
excited
badass.
about all of that. It's just so crazy to see where they came from to where they are now. This was I believe, like $20 million budget, and now each time they keep doubling that, and they keep making their money back, which is, I mean, it's a no-brainer. Why not?
And
Keep
Keanu
going.
keeps cutting his script.
Yeah.
He keeps cutting dialogue. Apparently, they write way more words for him, and he's like, no. What
No.
works for this is when I don't talk.
Yeah,
Like,
well,
so he's getting paid
literally.
for barely using any words. Like,
Yeah,
it's
he's
fantastic.
doing great stunt work. Amazon MGM's first trailer for the fourth and final season of Amazon Prime's Jack Ryan has dropped, and we see John Krasinski interpret CIA man embark on his most dangerous mission yet. The story focuses on a new CIA acting deputy director, Jack Ryan, being tasked with unearthing internal corruption.
Ooh.
And in doing so, uncover a series of suspicious black ops who could expose the vulnerability of the U.S. Now, as Ryan and his team investigate how deep the corruption runs, he discovers a far worse reality. Now,
Oh.
the convergence of the drug cartel with terrorist organizations. Now, the action-packed clip features glimpses of cast regulars Wendell Pierce, Michael Kelly, Betty Gabrielle, and Abby Cornish, but also in addition with new faces like Michael Pena, Louis Azwa. Now, Pena in particular appears to have a huge role in this season 4.
Mm.
Now, playing a conventional CIA recruit, Domingo Chavez, Jack Ryan, debuts on Prime Video on June 30th.
Oh.
The final season runs for 6 episodes, with 2 premiering each Friday, leading up to the series finale on July 14th.
There you go.
There
Have
it
you
is.
ever watched that?
I watched the first episode, and that was it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. I think it's really good.
I liked it too. It was just something that I think there was just so much other stuff going on because we know there's so many fucking shows.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, it's so hard to stick to one thing.
Like 17 of the ones I was watching are all had their finales though, like
Yeah.
series finales.
Yeah,
so
so
now
now
I've
you
got to
can-
jump on some shit. Yeah, but not this one. The Cruel Intentions TV series at Amazon has set its main cast. The series regulars in the show are Sarah Catherine Hook as Caroline, Zach Burgess as Lucian, Kobe Clark as Scott, Brooke Lena as Beatrice, Sarah Silva as Cece, Sean Patrick Thomas as Professor Chadwick, John Harlan Kim as Blaze, and Myra Molloy as Annie. Now, Laura Benatti will appear in the recurring guest star role of Claudia, Caroline's mother. John Tenney will appear in a recurring guest star role as U.S. Congressman Russell. I loved this movie. It was fantastic back in the day. Reese Witherspoon, obviously, and Ryan Phillippe, and Sarah Gellar, Sarah Michelle Gellar. They tried to do a sequel. It sucked. It fucking bombed. That should tell you everything about maybe you shouldn't try to do a fucking TV series on it. It was a really unique movie, and it was weird, and it was twisted, and it was like, oh, it doesn't work in my opinion for television. But they're doing it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to watch it, but they're doing it.
But they're doing it. Well, heading over to Netflix, the streaming juggernaut Black Mirror season 6 finale has a date now.
Oh.
The long-awaited return of Charlie Brooker's Netflix anthology series will be June 15th. The date was announced along with episode descriptions and a full official trailer on Wednesday. Now, the season is confirmed to be 5 episodes, which 2 more installments than the last season will be released back in the summer of 2019. The impressive season 6 cast includes Aaron Paul, Angina Vasson, Annie Murphy, Audine Thornton, Ben Burns, Kara Regard, Daniel Portman, Danny Ramirez, Hamish Patel, John Hanna, Josh Hartnett, Kate Mira,
Wow.
Michael Cera, Monica Dolan, Maya Horde, Papa Masidu, Rob Delaney, Roy Culkin, Salma Hayek Punut, Samuel Blenkin, and Zazie Betts.
Damn.
That's a lot.
Did Papsadera cast this one too? Because that's a
Seriously.
lot of A-listers right there. Boy, the Culkin clan is killing it, except for McCulkey.
I know.
He's kind of disappeared, but the rest of them are fucking like just slaying right now.
Him and Brenda Song just had a baby like last year, so he's like,
Yeah. And right, how many people were you like as shocked as I was to find out that he's with Brenda Song from like
Right.
Disney?
Yeah.
Like what the what?
I know.
I mean, it's so like I was like.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
All right, let's jump over to Apple. Apple TV Plus has set a fall premiere date for its limited drama series Lessons in Chemistry, starring executive and produced by Oscar winner Brie Larson herself. Now, the series will debut with the first 2 episodes on Friday, October 13th. New episodes will debut weekly on Fridays through November 24th. Now, this is based on Bonnie Garmus's best-selling debut novel, Lessons in Chemistry. Set in the early 1950s, it follows Elizabeth Zott, which of course will be played by Brie Larson, whose dream of being a scientist is put on hold in the patriarchal society. When Elizabeth finds herself fired from her lab, she accepts a job as a host on a TV cooking show and sets out to teach the nation of overlooked housewives and the men who are suddenly listening a lot more than recipes, all right? She's bringing it. Also starring are Louis Pullman, Aja Naomi King, Stephanie Quing, Kevin Sussman, Patrick Walker, and Thomas Mann. Okay, that sounds interesting.
Yeah, that is very interesting, especially for the 1950s.
Yeah, like is she going to be blowing shit up in the kitchen?
Yeah.
Like, what? I mean, is she bringing the chemistry? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, you never know with Brie Larson.
I mean,
really
I
don't.
love her though. She's fantastic.
Agreed.
Mad Men. You should jump on Mad Men. Loved her in Mad Men.
Yeah.
That show, one of the best on television. I don't know. This just came completely random because of Brie. But you're always saying like, well, what should I? That show should be the next one you jump on.
That's hilarious.
It's so fucking good.
Oh my goodness. Well, guys, it is time. That's right. You hear the basketballs playing right now, or dribbling, I should say. Sabrina Revelle is coming on the show to talk about her latest Disney Plus series, The Crossover.
Yes.
Super excited about this one. Not only do we talk about marketing when it comes to African American shows, not only do we talk about the show The Crossover, but we also talk about social injustices and all of these different mental health struggles and the lying on the resume. No, I felt like that was a good tease, so I thought I wanted to bring that back up. What did she lie about on the resume? You'll find out in this interview.
And does she tell you, as an aspiring up-and-comer into the industry, of whether you should lie on a resume or not? Is it a good thing? Is it not? You're going to find out in this interview.
That's for sure. That's for sure. Well, here she is. Okay. Love it. Love it. Oh my goodness. So good, man. So good. I love it. There's so much happening in Hollywood and so little at the same time because of the strike, guys. You guys know.
It's true.
It is kind of crazy though, because I felt like, I felt like we didn't have a locked in rundown until literally today.
Yeah, no, I at late last night, I kind of like wrapped it up and then put some finishing touches on it this morning. And Jason, another phenomenal job, because there wasn't a whole lot there and you packed it, my man. So good job.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy, but yeah, I mean,
Jason, of course, our podcast producer, who puts these rundowns together.
Yes, exactly, man. Exactly. All the good stuff. Just to tease a little bit more stuff. Everything's okay. We will have another episode coming out next Wednesday. This one is on bad workplace environment, toxic workplace environment.
We've all been there. You know it.
Oh boy. Get very deep on that one. Talking with a life coach. I'm super excited. As Stoke. Hergy Stoke.
Yes.
She comes on the show and talks about her experiences, especially through COVID. She gets very personal with us. We thank her for that. But yeah, it was a very deep conversation about our mental health traveling back and forth between home life and work life and how that can be difficult sometimes, bringing each situation into the next. So that was a good one. We have a little promo clip, an ITCAF skit that we'll be releasing too. I think it's pretty good. I will say so myself. I'm excited about that. And just so much stuff going on, man. We got a lot happening. So Crazy Ant Media is rock and roll.
Dude, yeah, and I'm super excited. I'm working on the script for my next management minutes, and I think you're going to like it. I'm going to dive deep into the controversy of AI.
Oh my goodness.
And I'm going to tell you every reason why I think the entertainment industry should not fucking use it. It's going to be really good. I'm excited for that one.
Exactly. And then of course we're still working on the film, The Lesson Plan.
Yes.
Man, the shot selection is going down, the budgeting's going down, trying to put in financing. Oh my goodness. It is crazy. We're super excited and to venture out into Atlanta.
That's right.
We're looking to shoot it in Atlanta. So I'm super excited about that. I mean, it's so filmmaker friendly, so we're going to take advantage of it.
Oh my gosh, we get to work with the people that we've been wanting to work with for quite a while.
Finally.
We get to introduce you to an amazing young star who's making her debut on screen.
Yes.
It's just everything in life is so good right now. It's so
good.
fucking good.
I love it. But after the back half of the show, be sure to go watch Sabrina Revelle's interview. It is available now. Be sure to check that out. But we'll do the back half and we'll wrap this thing up. And again, we just love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning along with us. Y'all are amazing. So let's jump into that top 5 segment. All right. Now it is time for the top 5 segment, man. And this week it's very interesting because we've never done anything like this before. This week it is top 5 favorite Hollywood couples.
Yeah, this was a really unique one, Jason. Like, again, Jason, our podcast producer, he picks these top 5 categories. And yeah, when I saw this one, I was like, oh, this one is going to be fun.
Yeah.
And then I was struggling. I'm like, damn, who are my favorite couples?
So many, man. So many.
But, and in another rare occurrence, because, you know, I mean, we're like here.
Yeah.
So often in our top 5s, we have duplicates because we think alike and you know, we don't have any duplicates on this list,
we don't.
Which I think this list kind of shows our ages again, though.
It does.
But it's okay.
It does.
It's okay.
But I also agree with everyone that's on your list.
No, yeah, like all 10 are fantastic couples.
Yeah,
they're like amazing.
Great examples of love, man. Great examples of love. Number 5.
Relationship goals.
Exactly. Number 5 for me goes to Jay-Z and Beyonce. With them being so freaking great in their own personal, like, musical careers and entrepreneurial status, it's amazing to imagine those two titans of the entertainment industry being a couple and being together. It is absolutely wild. Imagine that life insurance plan on that family. I'm just saying, I'm not going after you. I'm not going to kill you. I'm just saying, y'all are doing amazing. And I mean, it's very inspiring too, because they're very much in their own lanes. Even though they're both in the music industry, they're very much in their own lanes and help each other out and don't get in each other's way. And I think that is a very beautiful representation of what a relationship should look like, especially those in the African-American community. It's a beautiful thing to see. And I'm just super excited to see how their career grows, along with their children that they have.
Who's now performing with mom on stage.
Blue Ivy just performed with Beyonce on her freaking stage performance. That was amazing. So yes, number 5 for me goes to Beyonce and Jay-Z.
Well, and you know, I have a thought on this one too, and I'm so glad you put them on the list, because this couple also shows that we're all human.
Yeah.
Right? This couple went through a period where Jay-Z cheated on her and admitted cheating on her, and they had a little back and forth, and she did an album about him cheating on her, and but they overcame that, and their love was strong, and they were able to put it together. But I think anytime that you can relate and go, you know what, we're all human, We all make mistakes. It doesn't mean we didn't love each other. Let's get through this. Let's talk it out. Let's go to therapy, do whatever. So I love that you put them on the list because sometimes real is real and sometimes shit happens and you got to overcome it. And I love that they were able to do that. So yeah, good pick. Good pick. Speaking of a couple that's going through some real shit and dealing with a lot of fucking hate for it.
Not even because of each other, but
no,
because of the outside world.
But that's right. My number 5, and bring it if you disagree with me, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. I just think this is a couple that absolutely is sincerely in love, and they are willing to sacrifice everything. Both of them, their families, they're dealing with shit from their families on both sides, sacrificing relationships and trying to do what they believe is right. They are going through some crazy mental health hiccups. They are doing all kinds of stuff. And whether you agree or disagree with how they're handling it, I think their love is real. I think they are genuinely trying to do what they personally believe is right for them and right for their children. And I think at the end, the Queen agreed with that. I think that she recognized that.
I think so too.
I hope eventually the family on both sides, the crazy ass family on her side and just the maniacal, monarchy side of his, will finally all realize that and say, you know what? Life's too fucking short. Let's just put this all past us and be a family. I hope that's the case. But I respect them. I don't know what it would be like to be the spare and have to deal with that your whole life. And then you finally grow up, you become responsible, you do everything right, you find the person you love, and then you get fucking dogged for that.
Yeah.
And basically exiled for that when all they've been asking you to do is do that. Then you do it and you get fucking exiled for it. Like, I don't even know how. And then we know Meghan's story about the family trying to play off of her fame and wanting money and, just all the shit that goes down with her side of the family. I just think this is a beautiful love story of two people that genuinely care for each other and love each other, dealing with all that outside shit, yet somehow are holding their shit together.
Yeah.
And good for them.
Yeah.
I think if you can do that, again, just like I was saying about Jay-Z and Beyonce, it's real.
It is.
We're all human. We all got drama. Even if you're a fucking prince and a princess or a duke and duchess, whatever, we all deal with drama, family drama. So good for them. My number 5, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle.
I love that. Number 4 for me, I think, is actually a prime example of like a classic love story. And it's Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis, of course, meeting on the set of that 70s show with Thou Who Shall Not Be Named. And then, not being together and going through different relationships and then finding each other in their adult lives. I think that's such an amazing thing because she talks about how she used to have a crush on him on the set and how they used to be very buddy and very close. But then, of course, moving differently into different situations, it definitely, brings you into something that becomes very, very interesting, especially when separating and going your own path and growing up and trying out different things. So it's a beautiful thing to where them both being in different relationships, they learned how to find themselves and then find each other. So that's a beautiful thing. And I think they're the perfect little family and they support each other 100%. So that's why I wanted to put on my list. Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis.
Well, there you go. I feel the same way about my number 4 couple. And it's kind of a transition from Meghan Markle because of Suits to Patrick J. Adams and Troian Bellisario. What an adorable couple they are. They two met through sources, television, and, stuff. She's made an appearance on Suits, and he made an appearance on Pretty Little Liars, and, they have their kind of a thing or whatever. But this is an adorable couple who, through it all, have come together. They now work together. They've produced and directed things together, and they were recently Architecture Digest. They highlighted their house and everything. They just seem to be a very well put together, in love couple that's just doing life right. They respect each other's arts. They respect each other as people. And they're not letting things get in their way. They're like, this is who we are. This is what we want to be. We're going to enjoy this life together, and you're going to do this, and you're going to do this, and together we can do this. And I mean, I feel like so many times that in this category, right, talking about Hollywood couples, the fame gets in the way, the ego gets in the way, right? Because one will have a better run and then the other one will have a better run. And inevitably somebody gets jealous and it's like, and it causes problems. But to see a couple like them and go, you know what, you have that huge success run. I'm going to have that huge success run. And if we both don't have shit and we're struggling for the next job, we got that too. And I just love a couple that's like that and can understand how the industry works and still just be regular people. And I feel like Patrick J and Troyan, they're that. They're regular people that are just doing life right. And how can you not be inspired by that?
Exactly. Great pick, man. Great pick. Number 3 for me goes to Nick Jonas and Priyanka. I love this situation though, because one, interracial relationship, interracial couple, that is so beautiful to see, and especially in a public light. And because they come from very different backgrounds when it comes to religion practices. So to be able to come together and acknowledge each other's faiths and beliefs and still be accepting of each other. They had 2 separate weddings because they respected each other's faith and heritage so much. So I thought that was just such a beautiful thing. And you see now Priyanka, she's popping up in like 3 or 4 movies this summer, and Nick is actually in one of them. So I think it's so adorable that, they do support each other in their careers and are able to help each other out when they need it. And the age gap is also there. Not a lot of people really realize that, because Priyanka looks so young, but she's actually like 7 or 8 years older than him.
She robbed the cradle.
Yeah,
but it's fine.
Yeah, a little bit. But there's such like, they're an amazing couple and definitely a role model to younger generations of couples who are out there trying to just find love. So yeah, Nick Jonas and Priyanka.
Well, there you go. And my number 3 is a couple that's a little bit older, around my age, and they're definitely inspirations for me because they are a couple too that are just out there trying to live life, and they don't give a shit. I'm just going to be like this, and you'll know exactly who I'm talking about. My favorite couple, who you will inevitably every day in their feed see.
Literally.
My man, Jeffrey Dean Morgan and Hillary Burton, the lovely Hillary Burton. This is a couple that came together late in life. They found each other late, but they are like seriously just so genuinely in love. I don't think there's a single day that you don't see them somewhere, either in their feeds on social media or on TV or in print, just basically showering each other with love and affection and how proud they are of each other's like accomplishments and success. And then you see them, they're such great parents. They post all the time about what they're doing with their kids and life with their kids. And you think Jeffrey Dean Morgan, you think this badass, right? He's like, Winchester and like all these kind of. He's like the most loving dad ever. These things he posts with his kids are just like, he's an amazing dad. And Hillary is just an amazing mom. And how they are together, they live out on their ranch and they're just like, these are our animals. These are our kids. This is life. And they don't give a fuck. Mm-hmm. It's like, this is how we're doing it. And I just think they're so inspirational, right? And you can find love later in life. You can do that. It's still possible. It hasn't passed you by. These two are the perfect proof of that. It's like they've both been through some shit, but they came together. They found each other late, and they're the most adorable couple ever. So, I mean, I just think it's great, man.
I do too, man. I really do. And especially now finding her career with One Tree Hill. I had never seen anything she had done before.
Really?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's really cool to see.
Our very own. It's another person on my list. Our very own, and Autumn Reeser, and just like Allison Janney. Brilliant fucking film. You got to watch it.
Oh, man. Number 2 for me goes to John Krasinski and Emily Blunt. I mean, basically, I feel like all of these people, they go under the same category as prime examples of love and finding each other and be supportive. So that's why I feel like, I'm repeating myself just a little bit, but at the same time, it's all for the right reasons. So that's what's most important, because they do support each other in both of their different lanes. And then Emily's like, no, you better fucking put me in a movie. And she's like, of course I'm going to put you in a movie. Of course. I think that's so funny. But their dynamic and their home life and how they raise their kids, I feel like is just so beautiful in a sense, to where like them also coming from 2 different backgrounds, being from different countries, I feel like is very cool, and how that dynamic works. And I just think it's an amazing thing. So that's why I want to put them on my list, John Krasinski and Emily Blunt.
Well, there you go. They are like super adorable. That's without doubt. So my number 2, and I'm going to be completely honest with you. My number 2 stems about 99.9% from our interview with them.
Yeah.
You could not have them not on this list after listening to the interview. Go back and listen to our interview with Ryan Krause and Ella Thomas. This couple, have got to be the single most wide open, truthful, out there couple about who they are and how much they love each other and what they do that I've ever seen in my life. That interview just had us in stitches. And let me say, they ain't shy. They ain't shy. You will know things about Ryan and Ella that you might not want to know, but you're gonna know. All kidding aside, though, throughout that entire interview and every time that we interact with them and that we talk to them, you can genuinely see how much they love each other, how much they adore each other, how much they support each other. And speaking again of just like an unbelievable couple as parents and how they are with their children, it's like, it's unbelievable. They are the nicest, sweetest people that you could ever meet. They go out of their way to recognize people like, hey, how's your day today? Hey, great job. I saw this. Congratulations, kind of a thing. They're just genuinely really good people. And you can tell that stems from the relationship that they have and the comfort level that they have with each other. And it's like, spread the love. We are happy and we want everybody to be happy. And let's just put love out into the world. And they are just an amazing couple. And I highly, highly recommend you go listen to that interview because let's just say if you're a fan of popsicles,
oh my God,
be prepared.
Be prepared. You'll never look at a popsicle the same.
Never again.
Oh my goodness. Well, number one for me goes to, I feel like, the prime definition of a Hollywood couple because both of them are so successful in their own right and just so loving. Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively.
Oh, yeah.
They are just fucking amazing. Both being well-known, well-established actors before even coming into this relationship and then putting themselves first and like putting each other like before everything else. I feel like that was so important. There's this viral clip that keeps going around of it's when Ryan won some sort of award and Blake Lively was up there like basically giving a speech for him and talking about how important it is for him to get home no matter how many hours he puts in the day. Like it's just he wants to do his work so he can get home to her and the children. And like even when I'm thinking about it, it makes me tear up because it's such a beautiful like speech and like they both start crying in front of like this massive fucking room of Hollywood A-listers. And it's like it's such a beautiful thing, but their love is something true and honest and just fun. They accept each other for who they are, and I think that's what's most important. And that's a prime example of a couple that is what everybody should aspire to be like. So number one for me, Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively.
Beautiful couple, beautiful position at number one on your list. I think well earned, and yeah, they are just. And let's not forget that these are two people that came together through extreme tragedy.
Yeah.
Green Lantern. They overcame Green Lantern to become a couple and live this life. I mean, that says everything.
They did a good job.
I'm sorry, Ryan, but you know I'm right. Okay, my number one. Was there any doubt? Was there any doubt? If you follow me, you knew who my number one was going to be. These two are absolutely what I want my future relationship with whoever that may be with to be modeled after. I aspire to be like these two. I am talking about Jason Ritter and Melanie Linsky. They, to me, are the epitome of two people that absolutely adore each other in every way possible, who genuinely love and care for each other, will do anything for each other, support each other through all the highs and all the lows and everything that you go through in life as people. They are there for each other. And genuinely, two of the nicest people you will ever meet in your life. Like Jason, I can't even begin to tell you how nice of a human being Jason Ritter is. He's an exemplary human being from top to bottom, and Melanie the same. And if you have any doubt about this couple and what I'm talking about their love, I suggest you watch the Drew Barrymore show clip when Jason comes out and literally says that Melanie saved his life by turning him around from his alcoholism and making him want to be sober. And without a single word, she reaches and takes his hand, and that's everything. If you see that clip, you'll know exactly why they're number one on my list. That is the epitome of love without having to say a word. It was so touching and so, he's in love when you can be that vulnerable and say, I was this,
Yeah.
and I'm putting it out there for the first time, basically publicly for the world. And the support that she just gives him by that one touch, it says everything about who they are as a couple and who they are as human beings. And I think I couldn't put anybody else at the top of my list. I just think they're like, I definitely would aspire to have that relationship. I
Oh,
mean,
for sure.
it's amazing.
I love it, though. I love it. We love love, okay?
We love love.
What is your favorite Hollywood couple? We want to know. Be sure to comment below in the YouTube comment section or add us on Twitter.
Yes.
ITCAF Podcast. We love the fan interaction. We love what we do, man.
We do.
Heading over to the box office recap. Like we said, Little Mermaid, I should say, brought in a lot of money for Disney, which just did all of those layoffs. So hopefully hook that back up. They came in at number 1 domestically with $95.4 million.
That's the 3-day total.
3-day.
Yeah.
Now Fast X came in number 2 with $23 million. Number 3 was Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 with $20.4 million. Super Mario's Brothers movie with $6.3 million at number 4, and The Machine at number 5.
Yes.
Be sure to go see all of those except Fast X. New movies that are coming out this weekend, like we said, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Be sure to check it out. The Boogeyman, or some other shit, and let's just go with the first 2 because clearly no money is going into promoting the other ones. So, and I can't pronounce the other ones, so it's fine.
Simulant? I guess Simulant.
Sure.
And Montreal Girls.
Yeah,
whatever those are.
Movies you can go see right now, like I said, all the ones that I listed above. And About My Father, You Hurt My Feelings, Evil Dead Rise, and Book Club, The Next Chapter. And apparently it's still in theaters. No one knew. But
yeah,
I mean, if 80 for Brady and Book Club Chapter 2 are still in theaters, people would be confused on what movie they were seeing. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically the same thing. The only difference is Brady.
Yeah, literally.
It's like,
yeah. It'd be funny if he made a cameo in Book Club.
Yeah. I say that would have been fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
They should have done that.
I love it. Well, heading over to IMDbPro's top trending segment. Of course, all of this makes sense.
Totally.
The top trending movie was Little Mermaid.
Of course.
The top trending show was Succession.
Of course.
And the top trending star is Ray Stevenson.
And I always hate that. Like I said, we've said this numerous times, but I always hate when the top trending star makes the list because they passed.
Yeah.
And but there you go.
It sucks. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for getting crazy with us on episode 226. Woo! Oh my goodness. We got to thank Sabrina Revelle one more time for coming on the show.
Yes.
Be sure to tune into her interview and follow her on Instagram at Sabrina Revelle. And you guys know you can follow us on social media anywhere you're on social media because we're everywhere. And the company is at Crazy Ant Media. The podcast is at ITCAF Podcast. And you can subscribe to the podcast anywhere you listen to your podcast: Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play Music, iHeartRadio, Podbean, Stitcher, and so much more. And of course, don't forget the mental health podcast as well, helping people one person at a time. We love it. The next episode drops on Wednesday, and it's all about toxic work environments. We've all had one. So
yes.
Come on, come get a little sentimental on Everything's Okay podcast. And be sure to visit our website, www.crazyantmedia.com, where you can start rocking the latest and greatest Crazy Ant Media gear and mugs and hats and basically anything and everything you need for your merchandise needs. Right now, it's 20% off. Take advantage of those sales, man. That's what it's all about. It's what it's all about.
It's totally what it's all about.
But reflecting on the show, well, let's see. Honestly, I'm so happy that justice has been served for Danny Masterson because like I said at the beginning, sometimes there are no repercussions. That's the word that I was trying to say. There's no repercussions for people who are in the entertainment industry. And, it's just, it needed to happen. It needed to happen. And plus, there's so many different things that are happening in Hollywood. I'm honestly surprised that The Rock is coming back. But I think I'm most excited about the Transformers movie. And I've never really been a big Transformers movies fan, like live action. I love the animated stuff. But I am really freaking excited about these Beast Transformers. I think they look so badass, and the technology I feel like is just right. So I think it's going to be great.
I agree with you. I'm going to go on record and say I still think that the best Transformers movie to ever hit the screen is Transformers the movie, the animated one. Yeah, it's by far the one where they have to get. That's the bar. They haven't quite got there yet. The first 2 live action ones were okay. Bumblebee was pretty good, but they haven't hit that bar for me yet.
Yeah.
And they need to get there if that's where they want to go. But this one looks promising.
It
This one
does.
looks like it's going to be really good. I agree with you. I'm super excited about the continued success for Guardians. I think that Marvel's back on the right track and getting that shit squared away. I think that's going to be good. I'm with you on the conviction. I'm happy for that. And we got to put an end to this type of behavior, guys. It's just it's so prevalent.
It is.
It doesn't seem like it's going away. And we've got the more convictions we can get, and the more times we can say this isn't right, the better. So I hope that we keep seeing stuff like that. Yeah, man, I love this was a great show.
It was.
And how can you not love a show where your top 5 is all about love?
Exactly.
I mean,
Exactly. And somebody else that we love and who knows that they love because love is everywhere. The one, the only Oprah.